Hi everybody, I am Darla Reborn. I am encouraging independent thought and challenging popular opinion. Now, you may have come to this video because you're pregnant and you're anticipating the birth of your child and you're considering whether or not a natural birth is for you. Maybe you've had a birth or two or more and you have had epidurals or possibly C-sections. You just want to know what the heck I want to say about this video with such a crazy title. What I'm going to say I feel like is a bit counter to what we're told about birth and the ability of the body to handle and manage the sensations that come with birth. Something in me when I was pregnant with my first child, never having had the experience of childbirth and not even having had menstrual cramps, which I often heard were kind of like labor pain times about 100. I never even had menstrual cramps really. And something inside of me knew that a natural birth was for me and that I could do it. I think we need to talk to each other as women. We need to really and truly dialogue and support each other. Before I get into the content, I just want to say this right here. There's a lot of negative energy around the mothering, parenting, and birthing cultures. People are on their little teams and they're like promoting their teams, whoop whoop. And if you're not on their team, something's wrong with you if you don't want to do things the way they do it. It becomes very ugly. And I think at the end of the day, you need to do what works for you. But you also want to be aware of perhaps some misconceptions or fears or things that could be blocking you from things that you truly are capable of doing. You just convince yourself that you're not. So hopefully this video will be another tool that you can use in your decision making. All right. Just hearing my experience, right? So let me just go ahead and talk about the things that I found to benefit me. I have my list here. Number one, there is an amazing connectedness that I sensed and I felt with my own body. There was just an at oneness that I experienced in labor, without the assistance of any medications, that I was completely in tune with what was going on with my body. And this is just even from the first experience. And I'll go into detail. I actually want to share some videos with you of my births, for those of you who aren't too weak-stomached. But the experience of my first child, there was just something that told me that it's all good. It's okay. Women from the beginning of time have done this. You're just another one of those women. You can do this. And there was just something about how my body just came together, and I wanted to work with my body and allow it to do the processes that it was doing. But there was a sense of connectedness. There's an amazing thing that you must learn, and that is to trust your body, to trust the processes of your body and to be connected to that, whether it's meditation, exercise, those things. Becoming disciplined and in control of your body teaches you to know what signs of things feel like. Like, because I've run a marathon, because I've pushed past the point of exhaustion in workouts and challenged myself and my body, I know that I'm capable of doing more than I thought I could. And it's amazing the things that you're capable of that you're not even aware of. But this isn't like to be a motivational video so much as my experience. Okay, so I felt connected. No one needed to tell me when to push or what was going on with my body, because I was completely in tune. I could feel the contractions. It's such an amazing, exhilarating feeling of feeling those contractions come and pulsate through your body. Some of the first contractions that you know are coming, or that I knew that were coming, that indicated my baby was beginning to drop into the birth canal, was contractions that went from the top of my belly down. It literally, there was a force. It's incredible. There was just a connection that I felt that I never felt this level of connection before. with such a remarkable, amazing thing that was happening. So 2 is awareness, which is kind of like connection, but you're aware of your body and your breath. Even though you may not intuitively or psychologically know what's coming next, there's a sense of awareness you have about the breathing that you need to do. J breathing, visualization in your mind as you're breathing, you're envisioning yourself pushing your baby down. So those are some of the things that I did. But there's something about the awareness you feel within your body as you are giving birth, as you are going through labor. It's amazing because one level takes you into another. The beautiful thing about contractions is that they don't start on a 10. Now, there are some people who naturally labor very, very quickly. I was not one of those people. I have not been one of those people. My first child was born after 21 hours of labor. So I had plenty time to adjust to each sensation. It wasn't like I woke up and it was like, woo! You know, the woo came after they grabbed, like, oh, that's what it is? To, you go through a time where you're able to prepare. So yeah, and it gives your mind as well as your body an opportunity to prep for that next stage. Okay. Another thing, this is the third thing I'm mentioning, is that you are able to tune out. It's something that is like, woo, it's almost like I've never been high, but this must be one of the closest experiences to a high that I know of. And that's why I've been wanting to give birth ever since I gave birth the last time. It's weird. You might think I'm nuts, but there is like a certain level of high that you experience. It's hard to even completely capture. It's not like you're not present, because you are. You can hear everything that's going on. You can see everything that's going on. But there's something about the mental space that you get into. It's almost like a sleep-like meditative state in which you're present and feeling everything that's going on with your body, but it's like you become tougher and you become more capable of handling it. So connectedness, awareness, tuning out, and loss of self-consciousness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I used to think, oh my God, they're going to see me naked. They're going to see my butt. What if I poop? What if whatever. Do you know my first child? I got hot, and that labor's work. So that contracting that's muscle that's working on its own. Okay? You start to sweat, and I got hot, and I took off my hospital gown, and I was walking in that room, pacing back and forth in the nude. I did not give a crap what anybody thought, what anybody saw. I was 100% comfortable. I did not care. It's amazing to be in that space where you just don't care. And it's not that I was running around in the hospital like, everybody look at me. I was in my delivery room, and people would come in, and every time the nurse left, they would close the curtain, and I was just like, leave it open. Leave it open. I just wanted to breathe, and I didn't want to feel claustrophobic. So I just like the feeling of being open. You just lose that self-consciousness. Like when you're going through that phase and you get put in that meditative, tuned out state, you just don't care. And it's wonderful. Okay. So that was 4. 5. You get this shoot of energy. There is an amazing, what's the word? The adrenaline rush. It's a rush that you get that makes you capable of dealing with and managing the sensation. There's a natural pain-killing agent or pain-killing assistance that your own body creates. And you're not going to experience that unless you actually have the pain. So that's something for you. So for those of us who are afraid of the sensations, just be aware that your body has its own built-in mechanisms that help you manage the pain. And that's the adrenaline. You get this energy. You get this capability. And just when you think you're done, you find that there's more in you. And it goes back to what I said before. You are capable of more than you know. All right. So I remember with my son, I was in labor for a very long time. And I went for virtually 21 hours without any rest. And before the time came to push, I just felt so exhausted. I felt so exhausted, but somehow there was that last bit of energy in there, and I was able to do what needed to be done. And it's funny, after I had them, it was like I didn't even know I was tired because I was so happy and elated about the experience. Number 6 is you are at one with the sense of power that you have. It goes back to just the same thing I said. You are capable of more than you know. I felt so powerful. I felt so strong. I felt so woman. I felt so just, this is what I do. This is what I do. I give birth. I bring life into the world. And when you bet on yourself, you don't count yourself out and you give yourself a chance. Not in a spirit of competition. I'm proving to myself and to the world that I can have a baby naturally. No, no, no. This is just about the simple fact. I'm bigger than this experience. There's just something about the power that I felt. I never felt more sexy. I never felt more powerful than when I was pregnant and after I had given birth to my child. All right. And finally, 7 is control. And as weird as that may sound, because you really don't have control over the birthing process. This is literally something your body is doing. You know, when it's time for the baby to come, your body doesn't say, hey, well, actually, it kind of does give you warnings, but you don't necessarily get its permission. This is going to happen, right? I mean, it's going to happen. The baby's coming. And if you allow the process to happen naturally, which I did, including the beginning phases, so that my contractions weren't brought on. They just came. So there is this idea that you don't have control, and it's true. You don't. But there is still a connectedness to your body and a sense of control that you're able to have when you go without any medication assistance, because you're able to walk around. For me, like I said, the feeling of claustrophobia, of just being the walls coming in. And I just, like I said, I was not attracted to the idea of not being able to walk around. I needed to have freedom to move. And I used all of that. I literally walked the whole room. I sat on my exercise ball. I rocked it out. I danced. I rocked in the chair. I mean, I was all over that room. I had that freedom. And so even though I didn't have control over the process, I had control over the way I labored. So that's a beautiful thing. I hope that all of these things, I'm going to go over them one last time. Connection to my body, awareness of my breath and body, tuning out that I was able to do, loss of self-consciousness, the adrenaline rush, power of my mind and spirit, and control. Those were the things that I experienced when I gave birth naturally. And so I hope this is something you can add to your library of information, that if you were like me, are probably researching with a bit of an addicted spirit at this point. So I hope that this helps you, and there's more to come. And like I said, add any comments or questions that you have about it, and I will be happy to share even more about laboring in the hospital and such. But for now, this is it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening, and God bless.